Daf Pei Tes Amud Beis will begin Pei Tes Amud Aleph at the bottom line. We learned previously that Machlokes Rav and Shmuel that when you have different rooftops, if the roofs are separated from each other and you can see the separation, meaning if you look down and you can see the wall below, then they both agree that we say good asin mechitzas, and therefore we view the mechitzas as extending up, and they're considered to be separate areas, enclosed areas, and therefore you can carry within the rooftop. The question is, if the roofs are not separated, so you have the roofs that there's no separation between them, so they're joined together, so you don't see the wall below. Do you say by mechitzas which are not nikarais, do you still say good asik mechitza? Do you say that the wall that's below comes up and therefore they are in separated enclosed areas, they're separate from each other? Rav says that you do not, and therefore ein metaltem lo ela b'dalet amas. If you have the roofs that are joined together, you don't see the wall, so you can't say good asik. There's no separation between the rooftops. He says you can only carry within Dalet Amas. You can't carry within the whole area. It's considered to be an area that's Poretz B'Malu Alamokam, that's also. But Shmuel says no. We say good asik, and we view the wall as coming up, and that they're separate from each other. So now the Gemara is going to deal with it and bring rayas to one way or the other. They say each roof is considered its own reshus. So when we say it's considered its own reshus, that implies that that area is a self-enclosed area, and you can carry within that whole area. So according to Shmuel, it's good. Rav Kasha, but according to Rav, he says it's also to carry on the whole area. You're limited to Dalet Amas as a Kasha. What does it mean when we say that it's a Rishus La'asma, Shali Yitalt Beis Hamas B'Gag Zeh, or Beis Hamas B'Gag Zeh? What we mean is it's a self-enclosed area, which means you can carry Dalet Amas on that roof. As opposed to between roof to roof, you can't carry 2 amas here and 2 amas there. You can't carry from one to the other. You can't carry 2 amas here and 2 amas here. But on the same roof, it's a reshus b'fnei asma. The way Rav learns it, not to mean you can carry in the whole area, but at least you can carry Dalet Amas in here. But from here to here, from one to the other, you can't carry Dalet Amas. You can't take 2 and 2. So when we say reshus la'asma, he'll learn means what it means to say is you can carry Dalet Amas, but not the whole roof. In fact, more of Amar Belozaki Avina Bebovel Havar Minan Beirav Mishmei Derav Amru Ein Metalton Lo Boy Ella Bedalet Amas, that he brought a brayso that says you can only carry Dalet Amas. But Hani the Beis Shmuel Tane, but in the yeshiva of Shmuel they learned the brayso Ein Lahem Ella Gagon. They only have their rooftop, which implies, however, that they do have their rooftop, which you can carry me therefore around in the whole rooftop. So, my love, ein lahem elagagan, doesn't that imply lav deshar letaltula bekula, that you can carry on the whole area of the roof? Or it says, no, mi'alim masnisan, is this better than stronger than the words of the Mishnah, and which we interpret to mean dakim neshlo yatalta shtei amas b'gag zeh v'shtei amas b'gag zeh, and we interpret it to mean when we say reshus la'asma means that only you're limited to Dalet Amas. As opposed to 2 from one roof to the other, you can't carry 2 from here and 2 to there. When we say Ein Lahem Ela Gagon, it only has their rooftop, not the entire rooftop. Dalet Amas are the rooftop, but you only have their rooftop. You can't carry Dalet Amas between 2 rooftops, between one and the other. Amar Rav Yosef, he says this memra that Shmuel said, that we say good asik, even to a covered wall, even where the mechitz of the wall is not nikir, he says he doesn't accept that. you taught it to us, and you taught it to us regarding the following. Gag agadol samach lekatan. If you have two rooftops, one is large and one is small, they're next to each other. Agadol muter, va'katan asur. The large one is muter, the small one is asur. So, for instance, if you have a scenario like this, where you have two rooftops, a large one and a small one. The large one you're mutter to carry, but the small one, it's also to carry in the small one. So, this is the scenario over here. The large is mutter and the small is also. Now, you taught us on this Amud Yomi Shmuel, lo yishanu l'sheish diyurin al zeh v'diyurin al zeh. That's only where people are using this one and they're using this one. Why is that significant? The cotton mechitza in the dresses. The mechitza of the cotton, which is really the wall that is here, which you don't see, but it's the wall below. Since there are people that are using it, we're using this area, it's in the dresses. They're walking over this area. So therefore, the cotton of is mechitza in the dresses. And therefore, that you don't apply good asik to it. You can't apply a good asik because people use it and they walk over it. But if you don't have inhabitants, if you don't have residents using both roofs, so there's not traffic between the two roofs, then we say, that it's mutter. So why should it be mutter? Must be because we would say good asik. That even though this is not visible, this wall, it's only because you have traffic. You have constant traffic between the two that we say it's in the dresses, you can't say good asik. But if not, we would say good asik. It's considered to be like there's a wall. The wall comes up. There's a separation between the two, and they can carry here and they can carry here. So don't you see that we do say that good asik, even by mechitza, that's not nikr. Rav said to by no. What I meant to say is as follows. When did I say it's mutter? It's when there's mechitza on each one. The gadol mishra begifufe. The large one is mutter with the gifufe, with the side posts, and the cotton nifritz b'malua. And the small one is completely open, and therefore it's awesome. But if they don't have the roof, they don't have the mechitzas, if they don't have walls on top of them, they're both awesome. When did I say it's mutter? That's only if there's walls surrounding the roofs. So they have a wall surrounding it, and there's a wall here, so it's surrounded by walls. Here also, it's surrounded by walls. So now if it's all enclosed, so we understand that the large one is mutter because it has the side posts. But it has a side post here, so it's nicker that there's a separation. The small one is also because from the vantage point of the small chotzer, it is completely open. It's paras malua to the large one. There's nothing separating it. So it's paras malua to the malkam asur, so it's asur. That's what I meant to say where it's mutter. But if you had no walls at all, just on account of good asik, we would not permit it. So therefore, that's what he meant to say. But with good asik alone, it would not be mutter. But you told us that the criteria is whether there's diurim, whether it's used, not walls. You said the criteria, what makes it also is if there's diurim, if there's traffic. He answered back, he said, he said, if I did mention diurim, I meant it in this context. I only mentioned this, I said, where there's a mechitza that's fit to enclose the dior, the residential use, on both of them. Then if you have proper mechitzas, if you have strong mechitzas that's fit to enclose a residential area, then I say the large one is mutter because of the gifufin, the small one is also because it's paras mimulua. The gadol mishter b'gefufin, it's mutter with the side posts. The katan nifritz mimulua, but the katan is completely open, so therefore it's also. But if there is a proper mechitza on the gadol, but there is nothing on the katan, the small one doesn't have it, then the small roof is mutter even for the large roof, even for the residents of the large one. Then we say that not only is the large one mutter here, if they don't have proper walls surrounding him over here, they only have flimsy walls, not sturdy walls. If this is not enclosed properly, then the large one is mutter not only here, but it's even mutter over here. Now, why is that so? Why should we say it's mutter even over here? We understand it's mutter on the large because you have the gifuf, you have the side posts. But why should it be mutter even here? The reason is because if this does not have proper mechitzas, if they don't have proper walls surrounding it, they remove their use from it, they remove themselves from the use of it. If it indicated that they're not really intending to use it, and therefore it can be now allocated to the use of the large one. And they've given the rights of the use to the residents of the large one, and therefore they can use it. Like Rav Nachman says, also if you have different rooftops and one of them set a permanent ladder, so he has access to the roof, then the other ones did not, he has access to all the roofs. They were Masalik themselves. They indicated that they're not intending to use it. They've given the right of use to him, and he has the right of usage. In a similar way, if a person made an aliyah on his house, so he built a second story on his house, so you have different rooftops all over, different rooftops together. One of them built a second story on top of his roof. And he built a second story on top of his roof. He made a doorway, a narrow doorway of 4 tefachim wide, opening onto the roof area. So he made a small opening, 4 tefachim. He made it in front of his roof, a daka. He made an opening from the second story onto the roof. So huter b'chol gan kulam. He's become mutter. He's mutter to use all of the roofs. He can use all of the roofs. Now, why is that? Well, since he has made a second story and with a daka, let's make it a little clearer here. Since he has a second story and he has made the opening and he has the daka that opens to the rooftop, he has access to the rooftop in a way that they don't. So in a similar vein as we mentioned before, then it shows that he is intending to use this and they are not intending to use it, and therefore the right of usage of it is allocated to him. And therefore he's huter b'chol hagagim kulam. He can use all of the rooftops are mutter to him. But sometimes we would say that the dak is ris. How is that? The base. When he made the opening, he made the dak on the side that faces his garden, not the side that faces the roof. So let's say he has over here a garden. If he has over here on this side, there is a garden. And he makes the daka over here, the opening over here, to overlook the garden so that he can watch it, that he can guard the garden, that he can watch it. So now, by making the daka on this side, he's indicating that it's to be using on this side for the use of this side. He's not intending to use the rooftops this side. So here it comes out the opposite. He's misalik himself from the uses of the rooftop. So therefore, David al-Hadat Habitza de Besa, he's put the daka facing the garden, not the rooftops. The Omar is in effect saying, Linatura Tarbitzu David. It's made in order to watch the garden, to guard it, to watch it, and not to use the rooftop. And therefore, he's misalik himself from the rooftops, and therefore the daka would there be the reason, therefore, to aser him on the use of the rooftops. So it really could work both ways, but the general principle is if that there's an indication that he's intending to use it, and they don't, the other users do not have not indicated that they want to use it, and they are permitting him to have the daka facing it, then they're in effect saying that the use of it is we give them, and one who has the daka, he's allocated the use of it, and therefore he can carry on it.